Hello guys, my name is Pietro, welcome to the channel Player vs Developer. I've been a game developer for the past 5 years of my life, and playing and making games are two of my greatest passions. So I've decided to mix the two and create a YouTube channel where I play games and then give my opinion, first as a player and then as a game developer, on the section of the game I've just played. For today's episodes we are going to play Returnal. It's a third-person roguelike shooter, which I really enjoyed. I've already finished the game, so this section of the game I'm going to play is not going to be the first level, the first section. So a warning for people that haven't actually played the game, there might be some spoilers involved. If you don't want any, you should probably pause the video and skip potentially to the analysis, because otherwise you will be spoiled weapons and environments and enemies. So the purpose of this channel will be to focus on specific aspects of the games that I'm playing. For Returnal, these aspects will be difficulty, balance, a story and characters, just overall engagement and fun. Let me know if you guys enjoy the format of these videos. Leave a like, subscribe, and enjoy the video, guys. The first section of the video will focus on gameplay entirely. I probably will not be analyzing features and mechanics too much, since I will be focused on playing the game. If you're more interested on the analysis of the game, then you can skip ahead. Otherwise, enjoy the gameplay. Ooh, chest. Nice. Let's carry one now. I don't particularly love this weapon, but it's better than a basic pistol in my opinion. By the case, in case you guys are wondering, I have played the game, but it's been a while since I picked it up again. I must have been maybe a couple of months or so. I did miss it though, and I was hoping that there would be additional DLC and all, although nothing for the time being. We're already in trouble. Repairs moderate damage to integrity, but it is infected with malignancy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick it up. I mean, I could cleanse it, but I don't really want to waste 2 ether since I'm at the beginning of this area. So I'm just gonna pick it up and hope. Oh nice, I was lucky. I didn't get any negative effect. There's another one here. Yeah, I think I'll take it. Falls cause damage. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. The player is constantly pushed to having to make choices that will grant him some buffs, but also potentially some debuffs. Let's make sure I don't get hit. Nice. Okay, so as you can see in the malfunctions in the top left of the corner, in order to get rid of these malfunctions, I'm going to have to perform 3 melee kills. So these enemies are a little bit tricky to kill with melee because they're flying, but we'll do our best. One is done. Oh, this is not an easy guy. Have to be careful. Guy. These are kinda mini bosses. First death. Alright, let's go. Man, the environment in this game is really beautiful, really immersive. Maybe I'm just a lover of ancient civilizations and like mix of nature and ruins, but it's really cool. Ooh, okay, I believe this is a... yeah, okay, this sort of laser. I actually remembered it to be a bit more shotgunny, but it's not bad though. Definitely better than the basic gun. Let's dodge that. Let's keep going. I don't think I'm going to want to buy anything. Also, I can't. Let's progress for the time being. Oh, I need to be careful. If these eyes see you, they attack you, and usually they deal a fair amount of damage. You can shoot the eyes to close them and then progress. Ooh, nice. Okay, let's go. If I recall, this... yeah, these are going down. Need to be quick. Oh no! Yeah, I was too slow. That's alright though. Now, where do we want to go? Let's check this side. Man, I'm making stupid mistakes. Okay, let's see if I can buy some health. Oh, it's... no, it's a random one. I'd rather keep my money for a sure buy. I think I missed something back here. I'm going to go back and check. Contains large amount of oboites, but it is infected with malignancy, malfunction probability high. I mean, I already have a malfunction and my life is pretty low, so I'm just going to avoid that. Let's check here. Eliminating hostiles has 10% chance to repair integrity. Ooh, this would be perfect, but unfortunately I don't have enough. I might come back here if I remember. Okay, 2 are gone. Ooh. Man, I don't like this weapon too much. It's not bad, just not my style of gameplay. Whoa. Oh shit. Nice. Okay, let's see if there's any health around. Ooh, nice. Juicy, juicy. What do we have here? Two-way radio. Oh yeah, this was important, but I don't have enough. It seems like I don't have enough. Oh. No, I don't really want to use almost all my oboites for that. Boom. Seems like we're in a sort of hub. That was 99% accuracy and I still couldn't understand most of it. Alright, let's try to survive this. Ooh, a chest. Ooh, carbine. Yeah, I think I'll swap. I do prefer a carbine. Is there anything else? Let's check what's in here. Oh shit. Was not expecting that. Oof, that guy was tough and I didn't have too much integrity, unfortunately. Let's try again. This time with a better weapon, hopefully.
I can still recall what she said. That woman who uses my voice, who isn't me. The deepest of the deep. I believe her now. Yes, it was me.
Ooh, what's this place?
Exquisite sacrifice. When I plunged into the depths, the drowning Sphinx asked me this riddle at the cost of my soul. How do you heal a wound within a body that cannot be healed?
I fell. Alright guys, now that we've finally played a section of the game, I would say quite unsuccessfully, let's now discuss my point of view, my opinions, first as a player and then as a game developer. Hello guys, I am the player. The first thing I want to discuss is the difficulty. Let's get into it. So this particular section of the game felt particularly difficult. I think that's fairly normal given that I've played the game a couple of months back and I haven't touched it since. And obviously I'm restarting from a point that isn't exactly the beginning of the game. So I'd say that I was quite overwhelmed. The player has to keep track of loads of things at the same time. All the enemy positions, the enemy bullets, and where the health is located, whether you need to reload soon, whether your special attack or your weapon is loaded or not. There's just a lot to keep track on. And if you're not used to these types of games, that will definitely be quite a challenge, at least initially. However, I have to say that the game also just generally rewards patience in the sense that if you take your time to get better equipment, increase the length of your health, of your integrity, the successive areas will definitely be easier. Impatient players will be punished more than patient players, at least in my opinion. Another thing that ties in well into the difficulty is the risk and reward balance. I think that Returnal does an amazing job when it comes to risk and rewards. The game is often promoting taking risks in order to gain better equipments, better weapons, increase your life. It's generally pushing the player towards having to make difficult decisions. For example, you want a better weapon, you might have to risk your limited health to defeat a powerful enemy. Or for example, if you want to clear a raid room to gain extra loot, you're gonna have to defeat several waves of enemies, which is quite difficult to do in itself. But if you also consider the fact that integrity is a very limited resource in the game, it just makes the decision a lot harder. However, if you do choose to risk and you do gain better weapons, better equipment, you have a much higher chance to succeed when you then fight the boss at the end of each section, which are generally quite challenging, quite difficult. Now, let's talk about engagement and fun. Personally, I find the game a lot of fun to play. It can be frustrating, just like any other game that has one set difficulty and which is generally quite high. So it can be frustrating, but it's a lot of fun. I love the core mechanics of this game. The movement makes me feel extremely powerful. I am quite agile. I can move in any direction pretty much at any point. The dash is really cool, and I think it's well balanced as well. Generally speaking, I think it's a very fast-paced type of gameplay, which I enjoy a lot. As for story and characters, I would say that obviously playing just a section of the game, this wouldn't be clear, but from having played the full game, I can also say that the character and story are definitely compelling. The premise of the game is very interesting. Narrative-wise, it's quite intriguing to be stuck in a sort of endless purgatory-like place. As a player, you do feel compelled to understand what's going on and why you keep coming back to life. Or, you know, if you're potentially already dead and you're stuck in a sort of hellish afterlife. There is definitely a strong emotional connection to Celine, which is the main character. However, this is developed, in my opinion, later in the game, or as the game progresses. You don't really feel it straight away. I think it's one of the reasons why. It's because you don't have the classic structure to the game where there are like loads of cutscenes and NPCs to talk to. Basically, you don't see much of the personality of Celine aside from the recordings that you find and the occasional cutscene. As a whole, I'd say that the game is definitely fun to play. It's definitely on the difficult end. If you're a casual player, you might struggle a fair bit to complete this game. However, I think that the game does reward perseverance, and this is shown in the level design as well. Now let's discuss the game from a more in-depth analysis. Alright guys, I'm going to give you my opinion as a game developer, someone that's been making games for a few years now. Obviously, I've never made anything even remotely similar to Returnal, so my opinion is purely based on general principles of game designs and game development. I wouldn't consider myself an expert at all. There's loads of things that I'm still learning. I also think that one of the best ways to learn how to make games, aside from actually making them, is playing them and then analyze them. I think that's something that has taught me a lot over the years, and especially when it's a game that you love, I believe that does really make the analysis more fun. So let's begin this analysis starting from level design. In my opinion, the level design of Returnal is extremely well made. It's definitely different from how traditional games guide the player. The level design in Returnal, it's a mixture between procedurally generated environments with sections of the map that are carefully crafted. Now, from this section of gameplay, you would have no way of knowing, but the game is divided into different biomes, and the biome that I play today was called Echoing Ruins. So this is one of the biomes the game has to offer. Each biome has its own aesthetic, atmosphere, and layout, which contributes towards making each experience extremely rewarding and immersive. It also gives an overall sense of alienation and unease, since you don't know what to expect. You also obviously see that there's new enemy types and all. Now, generally the biomes range from dense and claustrophobic forests to more desolate deserts. Many of these areas are optional, so it is possible that the player won't ever see them. However, since the level design of Returnal is partly procedurally generated, that ensures that each run feels different. And the reason why is that the procedural nature of the levels ensures that two runs are never the same. However, there are handcrafted elements within these layouts that offer the player a sense of familiarity. So even if you die and you restart, and for example, the first room that you encounter is not the same as the one that you've met previously, you still might recognize the room in itself, because rooms don't change. The way they're placed changes. So, for example, you might encounter a room much later down the line at some point, or you might encounter it earlier on. This basically makes the player feel like, in the end, they are getting a sense of the environment. However, there's also an element of surprise when exploring it. In terms of level design, the game uses verticality very well. The player is constantly pushed to having to perform platforming types of gameplay. They have to also move up and down in order to fight enemies better. You might want to, for example, get the high ground against specific enemies, use trees or ruins or rocks to dodge enemy bullets. It's clear that the designers of this game had a very specific vision in mind for the combat, and they managed to bring it to life very well, very successfully, at least in my opinion. One of the core mechanics that really helps navigating the environment and its level design is the grappling hook, which is not unlocked straight away at the beginning of the game. However, once you do unlock it, he allows the player to reach places that they initially couldn't, and he offers a great tactical advantage in combat, since he allows you to move quickly from one point to the other without having to worry too much about dodging enemy bullets. Despite the randomization of the rooms and layout, the game still offers a very strong sense of progression. As the player plays the games and discovers new areas, they will notice new shortcuts, new ways to progress to the biome faster, which will allow them to get to the same point without having to run all the way back and potentially lose their equipment again. When it comes to level design, I would say that Returnal has done a great job with mixing the randomization of the layouts and mixing it together with carefully crafted rooms, which point the player towards a strict and strong sense of progression. I also think that while the player gradually learns how to navigate the different biomes and define different shortcuts, or remembering where certain resources are located, allows them to make each run feel less like a punishment and more like an opportunity to learn and improve. Now let's discuss mechanics. Most of the mechanics in Returnal, just like in many other games, are extremely connected with each other. I believe that the game's core system, such as the difficulty, the weapon proficiency, the parasite system, they all work together really well to create a dynamic and engaging experience. Players must really manage resources well, like health, obolites, while also adapting to changing conditions, for example, new enemy types or environmental challenges. I believe that weapons and upgrades are very diverse and they offer a very different playstyle. So, for example, depending on the area that you find yourself in or the enemy type that you're facing, you might want to use different weapons. However, the player can choose the weapons that they want. They simply find them around, which is partly what makes the gameplay so diversified and fun. This makes sure that each run feels different and never gets boring. I believe that another important system used by the game developers is to keep the gameplay quite engaging is the adrenaline system, which basically rewards aggressive type of gameplay, as it encourages players to take out enemies without being hit, which is something generally quite hard to do in a game where there's loads of enemies around all shooting at the same time. However, the buffs that the adrenaline system offers are quite significant, which is an incentive for players to try and stay on the offensive. Additionally, the game features also a malfunction system where taking risks can result in beneficial buffs for the player, but also detrimental effects. This adds another layer of decision making to the gameplay, which is already quite filled with loads of multitasking and quite frenetic gameplay. Let's now discuss balance. Balance in Returnal is a very complex and multi-layered aspect, since there are a lot of systems and mechanics as well as many different progression paths. In my opinion, the game strikes a balance between giving players a strong sense of empowerment, but also reminding them that they're vulnerable and that they are most likely going to die and having to repeat the run. However, thanks to many different layers, each run feels unpredictable, partly due to the procedural generation, but also due to the overall underlying systems, which ensure that players are always challenged, however, never reach a point of hopelessness. Balance is provided by allowing players to unlock, for example, permanent upgrades, such as traversal tools or weapon unlocks, which can make new runs feel a little bit easier. They also discover new paths, and all of these discoveries are spread out through the game slowly and carefully, without never giving the player too much power or making them feel too weak or hopeless based on what they're encountering. I would say that balancing difficulty is just generally a difficult thing to do from a game developer's perspective, especially when a game is designed to be quite difficult. However, there are features that do help with difficulty. For example, aim assist. Overall, I think that the game was balanced really well by developers. There are certain bits and maybe bosses that feel a little bit on the high end of the difficulty. However, they are not impossible or extremely difficult. They just reward players that take their time and explore each of the environments patiently. At the end of the day, if you take more time to explore, you're gonna reach possibly the end of a biome or anyway a boss having more health, having better weapons at higher levels, having multiple consumables. On the contrary, if you rush due to impatience, you generally are going to reach the end of a biome or reach a boss fight with a fairly short integrity bar, weapons that are not up to the task, and no consumables. So the game does reward patience as well as exploration and strategy. Overall, I think Returnal is a great game, and I think that most gamers will like it. I do genuinely believe that perseverance is key, and if you take your time to explore and power yourself up, then no boss or biome is extremely difficult. This is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. If you like this formula, let me know, or if there's anything, any suggestion, anything that you guys think I should change. If there's any specific game or section of a game that you would like me to play, leave a comment down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you on the next. See you guys.